Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you are fine and in the best of your health and spirits. Dear students, today we are going to do the summary of the lesson University Days by James Thurber. It is very interesting yet humorous story and it employs a message to the reader. Here we have a character named Thurber. He narrates his tricky situation at the university in a very amusing tone. And in the story, it has been told that how absurd and frustrating college life can be. So the writer says that he had passed all his courses in university, but he couldn't pass botany because he was never able to pass practical work in the laboratory. In botany class, Thurber couldn't see the cell of a flower through the microscope like his teacher and other students. He tried his best, but he couldn't see through the microscope because of an accident that he had when he was 7 years old, which affected his sight. In the story, rather in humorous story, he makes fun of himself, but in the process, he described the rigid attitude of the teacher who never understood the inability of Thurber and kept forcing him to see. So, in this story, Thurber narrates his tricky situation at the university in a very humorous way, in a humorous tone. Thurber gives a strong message to the reader that sometimes things that seem to be very easy from our perspective can be very difficult from someone else's perspective. So we shouldn't be rigid or controlling towards the people. Instead, we should be helping and caring and encouraging towards people. So Thurber tells that he had passed all the course in the university, but he couldn't pass botany because he was never able to pass practical work in the laboratory. And he couldn't see cell through a microscope because of an accident. He would always try to explain his teacher that he could only see milky substance, while the teacher would tell him that he is very restless worker who couldn't do things properly. All the students can see that substance, but Thurber couldn't see. So he couldn't graduate to the next class. He spent another year and tried to see cell through the microscope. His teacher was very confident too, but he still couldn't see. Once his teacher adjusted the microscope lenses and claimed out that if Thurber couldn't see the cells that time, he would quit teaching. So the Thurber then saw a colorful constellation of flecks and dots through that microscope. And he was amazed and excited that finally he saw the cells. His teacher came to him and saw through the microscope lens and told the writer that he had fixed the lens so that it reflected his eyes and he was seeing his own eye in the microscope. So this was a very big blunder on the part of the Thurber that he couldn't adjust the microscope properly. That is why he could only see the white substance or milky substance, while the teacher became very furious and told him time and again that why he couldn't see, and Thurber time and again told the teacher that he couldn't see properly. So this is very interesting story that he had missed 1 year of his educational career and couldn't pass the botany practical work in the laboratory because he couldn't see proper cell. What he could see, he could only see a white or milky substance. So this essay is very interesting and this explored the concept of hardship, control, frustration, and struggle in this text. And he has very hard time in the botany class because whenever he does, whenever he tries to see that substance, but he couldn't see that. He always used to see a white substance. He couldn't see properly the cell of the plant, but he always used to see milky substance. This makes the teacher annoyed. I hope that you have understood the summary of the lesson University Days.